I would like now to see a picture of the smart #1. And I read in an interview in a Dutch newspaper from a Dutch colleague that you're presenting the car of the future. So please tell us, very short of course, why is this the car of the future?
First, it's shockingly big when I see it like this, but it's still a smart, believe me. This vehicle is obviously emission-free. Smart was the first company to switch to pure BEV. We have heard a lot also from Fabrice in the morning about technology openness. Smart has decided to go full EV. So this is a 100% emission-free vehicle. Very easy to charge. We're going to bring in May, June our third vehicle to Europe, which also has an 800 volt technology. You have 10 to 80 in 15 minutes. So it's really easy to charge. But why is it the future? I call it the no-touch go. So you approach the vehicle opens, you get in, you don't have to push a start button, just push the reverse or the forward and you move. Your destination you can pre-select with the app sent to the vehicle in advance. So fully connected, fully integrated into your ecosystem, which is in Europe very important, which is in China even more important that it's fully connected. That's why, for me, vehicle of the future.
All right. Stella, it is a competitor, of course, but you just heard what Dirk said. Is this a car of the future?
Yeah, if it's an electric car, every electric car or maybe advanced PHEV, they are the car of the futures.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, and you were also talking about the ecosystem and the digitalization. That's being very important, but we also have like some practical developments at this moment. Of course, in Europe, we have to address the battery electric market share declined. The RVs are under pressure at this moment. Do you think it's just a short dip, or what's happening in the market? Can you explain to us what you see at this moment?
Yeah. So actually, I think this is a short term because people did confuse about the future, especially when government is saying back and forth, and then especially when electricity cost went to the like €1 per kilowatt hour, then their expense for EV is actually the operation cost is increased. This is not a benefit for the market, but then at the same time, so people has a range anxiety, people has the like a charging infrastructure concern. That's the reason for BYD now we start to introduce advanced like a PHEV technology. We call it DMI, dual mode intelligent. So if under the electric mode, you can drive 80 to 100 kilometers, 120 kilometers. And then if one full charge and also full tank of gasoline, you can drive like 1,080 kilometers.
Yeah.
This is the kind of technology we want to introduce to the market. Then immediately you start like open the door for people a little bit hesitate, have concern about the charging infrastructure, about the cost. Then they can use this technology.
What is your thought on this? Do you go full battery electric or?
Yes, we went full battery electric 4 years ago, and we stick to that. A plug-in hybrid or any kind of hybrid is always a compromise, bridge technology. So we should rather focus on getting more green energy, having the battery recycling at 100%, so go into a circular economy, so that from, I think in the morning Fabrice said it, from cradle to grave, that we have zero emissions or as least emissions as we possibly can. I think that's the future. We had in the morning interesting discussion on charging infrastructure, interesting discussion on range anxiety. I don't see the dip in the BEV market in Europe as induced by range anxiety or lacking infrastructure. I do see it rather induced by uncertainty through changes in regulation overnight sometimes. And I think this is our biggest issue at the moment in Europe, that there is no clear direction again versus China, where there is a clear direction.
Yeah. I think I 100% support Dirk's opinion. So I think in the whole Europe together, we see some kind of stability, sustainable plan for future. Like why China is successful for electric EV? Because in the day one, 20 years ago, they already set up target, and the message is very strong, clear. the future is electrification. And then this gave the very good encouragement for every auto company. They can all in. They put all their investment into the electrification. Then they compete each other. Then now today you see that China is the most competitive market. Then they produce the best quality electric car globally. But in Europe, sometimes we see the government back and forth, not clear. Then this also make the manufacturer as OEM. You need this visibility. They hesitate to invest. Then during the hesitation, you lose the momentum for the invest the best technology. Then you lose the competitiveness for the industry.
Stella, I like to quote something according to Reuters. So we can immediately check if Reuters has good quoting journalists, right? BYD is still deciding whether to pass the costs of the tariffs, 70% on top of the existing 10% onto consumers or to absorb the hit. We disagree a lot on these calculations. It's not fair judgment.
Yeah.
Is that indeed a correct statement?
So I think the correct statement is really not fair to a European consumer, because in the end they have to pay the premium. It sounds like they have to pay the penalty for them to access the a high quality electric vehicle. It's not good. It's not a benefit for our climate change. This is something. Also, actually, I don't know Dirk's opinion, but it's also not helping OEM.
Oh.
Because we are from the manufacturer. Sometimes you have pressure. Sometimes the pressure is very strong. Then you force you want to survive, you want to be better, you want to win. Then you have to working harder. Then you have to push a lot of innovation. In the end, maybe this is very frustrating. But after 6 months, after 1 year, you come back, you look back, wow, I'm 10 times stronger, I'm 10 times better. So I think this adding the tariff, I saw a lot of German OEMs, they against. Then I saw a lot of people against in the auto industry. But it's not really benefit, because you never saw you protect the weak party, they can be strong. And then the protection it should be will never always protect you forever, just a short-term play.
Yeah, they're clear, so it should be an open market and not be a protective market. Dirk, what's your thought on this, on the tariffs?
There's two angles, one from a personal side and maybe one from a customer side. A personal representative of Smart, European, German, we have benefited so much from free trade over the last decades. It's strange that we as Europeans now shut the door. I would rather rethink what we in Europe subsidize, while the US is subsidizing chips, China might subsidize automotive industry. What do we do? Agriculture? Great, that's the future. So I would rather rethink what are we doing wrong at the moment in Europe, instead of pointing to others and saying, you do it right, we're going to stop you. Personal opinion. As a customer, what will happen? We have the most cars in the B segment, be it Dacia, Smart, Mini. They are not produced in Europe, none of those. They are European brands, but not produced in Europe anymore. There is a reason for that. It's bureaucracy, it's extremely high energy costs, inflexible workforce. I could go on and on. So there is a reason for not producing at the moment in Europe. So if you produce outside Europe, you can offer somewhat decent price levels. This will be gone, at least for battery electric vehicles, which means me as a customer, I might not go for an electric vehicle in the next 2, 3, 4 years. I might go back to ICE engine, to combustion engine. What I would like to add to this entire discussion, we at Smart are still fighting for a negotiation solution. So we are supporting as well the UE Commission case team side and MOFCOM from the China side, so the Ministry of Finance and Commerce. So we are really trying to give all of them that are currently negotiating the right arguments to come to a much better solution than punitive tariffs. So I think the discussion is still going on, and the vote that was taken by the member states also left this door open with the recital in there. So it's not 100% set in stone that Europe will follow through with these decisions, and I do hope that we come to a better solution.
Yeah. How to compete the German? I think if you build a beautiful car with a powerful engine, they love it. So I visit our Stuttgart store. I check with sales. You're in Stuttgart. You mean what I say? Then how a BYD can sell the car? So Stella, all the German customers love our sale because this car gave you speed and they give you power. So now, like we did, now we just launching our sale line. We especially make the technology with fast charging. 24 minutes, you can charge the car to 80%. But at the same time, this car can drive high speed with 230 kilometers per hour. Why? Satisfy German customer free Autobahn experience. So I think we want to deliver the car, not only focus on other countries, but especially in Germany.
Yeah. So it's more about the speed than the sound of the engine. Dirk, what's your thought on this? Also, when you look at your brand, how is the competitiveness?
I mean, at Smart, we better don't talk about market shares. We know our role, but we are humbly trying to basically bring society towards carbon-free, neutral emission mobility.